Con hai này Marseille chắc vẫn ăn được này. Capital để cổ tay Marseille rồi. Con ba này chưa ăn được rồi. Một cái mà cuộn thêm tí nữa thì đẹp. Ui, mạnh thêm tí nữa thì đẹp kìa. Mạnh thêm tí nữa thì sau 8 kìa. À, thủ quả khó nhỉ. Capital, Capital lấy gậy nhảy rồi. Lấy phóng thôi. Ui, thủ chắc quá nhỉ. Nhảy tiếp phát lướt. Quả này nhảy tiếp phát lướt thôi. Sợ gì đâu mà không nhảy phát lướt. À, nhảy ra đuôi luôn. Sao cũng nhảy luôn. Sợ gì đâu. Sao bảo chú em nhảy, anh cũng nhảy được. Còn lại A băng cót con 4 về đây thôi. À, thế này chết với so rồi. Đấy, có lại so bắn không cần ngắm luôn. So bảo quá đơn giản. Ba bốn. Có trận lại hay này. Anh em ơi, who will win? Moritz Nielsen and Alois Sutjap.
Yeah, if both balls are frozen there, it's a weird shot you've got to play, isn't it, Scott?
Yeah, I don't even know how you play it. Maybe with inside English if they
1-0
both
cho
freeze.
Giáp.
And Jeremy and I touched on it earlier, Carl. I think Yap has continued to really get better with the carbon shaft as of the second half of yesterday.
Please nice share and subscribe for me.
Said he was doing this because the TV table may have slowed down just a little bit due to all the rain, getting a lot more power out of the carbon shaft. That is just one benefit to it.
Giáp vừa đi chấm. Giờ đến Leo Sen phá.
Up 4-3 against Shaw and breaking. And there's a good shot there. Both guys breaking the balls.
Chết 1. Còn 2 hết đường.
Newhousen's break has really stood out this week. Probably top 3, top 4 in my opinion.
Who do you think has been the best breaker over the 8 days? Anybody?
I feel like Sanjin was the best breaker. And you know, tough results up and down, but I feel like he was really standing out with the break.
Yeah, he was going full power, wasn't he? He was not holding back. Now, Shaw's going to need a bit of luck here because Capito does have a chance for the point.
Yeah, he just wants to get past the 9 here, no problem. But want to fall straight on the pink or that awkward low angle. And he might have gotten it to where he has to force the cue ball a little bit. Could just stay below the purple if you'd like. He's got a pocket to the top left and even the top right, plus the left-hand side. Obviously, like to play the purple to the bottom right here.
Mạnh được rồi. Hở luôn rồi, hở mặt rồi.
Is he looking to power punch up past the 8? What's he got in mind?
Chắc là chỉ sượt con 2 cho nó lở ra sang bên này thôi. Cái chạy xuống.
Well, he certainly can't make his mind up.
Giáp đo đường cân à? Cân nổ tít được không?
Yeah, hit it good, didn't he? Really trying to change the angle. Looking bleak for sure. It's another match though, Scott, where he's made careless errors.
Yeah, he missed a 3 ball to the top right after a couple of great plays.
Lắc mất rồi.
Really kind of surprised me.
À, còn 5 điểm.
Just hit it on the head, careless. I mean, that's kind of
Nghĩ là con 2 chết,
Shaw,
để
you
con
know,
5 nó
ball's
cản kìa.
running tough. You can rely on him. Every now and then he'll just let that odd easy ball jump up and get him.
Con này có mất C trên 5 không? À.
Overall, really, probably the best
Yes,
player
net
on
go
the
Giáp.
deck as far as making balls and just looking
Giáp,
good.
come on.
9 matches he's lost, 5-4, which is absolutely insane. If you just take away 30% of that,
Ăn 5 được không?
his record is a lot different.
À, không ăn 5
But
được.
you've got to give credit to Capito. He's been rock solid.
Với xong
since
cắm mắt
day
C cho
one.
dễ nhỉ?
Yeah, and he'll know the danger of Jason Shaw. He knows how good the other 3 semi-finalists will be who join him. Of course.
Cân con 2 thôi, cân con 2 và 5 chết thôi. Cái kéo nhẹ lại để vả mặt con 2 tiếp.
Knocking Shaw out at this stage. It's gonna help. Yeah,
Đánh con 2 ăn một xíu ở cái đường băng ngắn thì cắm con cái lại thì đẹp.
them two guys will be back short
Giáp
for
đẩy
their
luôn này.
last match
Đẩy kéo cái về.
of the
À,
group
chém.
stage.
Chém thế thì lại
Yeah,
khó
we
rồi.
have one to
Được
get
cân thì
past
ra
the
cái má nó
nine
sẽ đẹp
in
hơn.
order to play the 5 with the kiss shot off the 3.
Nhưng bây giờ con 3 lại
May
khó
see
rồi.
a sliver of the 3 here. If he can, I think he could still play the 5, but boy, it looks like the 6 is
3
on
khó rồi
board.
anh em. Còn nhìn được má con 3 không? À, vẫn nhìn được má mỏng này. Nhìn được má mỏng này.
Oh, and here's a good look at it.
Chém 5 luôn. Sượt má con 3 ăn 5 này. Không
Yeah, I
tới
didn't
con
miss
5.
it. I didn't think you could miss the purple with it being that thin. Purple is very deep, though. Wow. That was thin.
Cái mom sâu
Capito
quá.
stays on table number 2. He will be joined by a player he keeps swapping places with at the top of the table. He'll be playing Stewart.
Yeah, he drew straight out. A lot thinner than he wanted to be here. Might even be forced to look at the bank. Unless he wants to just chop, go back and forth. I think he's got to play the cross corner here. Yeah, really aggressive stroke. Never a doubt.
Yeah, well done, Neuhausen. Overrun his cue ball, so decided to go full on with the bank. Back in good position here to get on the brown 7. That's got to go.
Yeah, thin a couple times now. Not going to bank this one. Does need to avoid the 9. You don't want to come
Để
short of
thêm
the
một
9,
băng
so
thôi.
he's going to come past it.
Này, cắm về luôn. Má này không cắm về luôn đâu. Để thêm một băng.
He might be able to come on the inside of it, actually. Oof.
Yeah, good shot there from Neuhausen.
9 ôm 10.
I think Neuhausen has got to beat Yap for sure to still have a chance. If Neuhausen wins, he goes on 16 points, level with Yap. Shaw is on 15 points. They'll all have one match to go. Yeah, Yap choosing to break a little softer. More of a controlled break. issue with that is you always feel like you've got less chance of potting a random ball. The guys who are breaking very hard, who seem to be making other balls other than the one ball. Safety's gone wrong from Neuhausen there. Made a right mess of that.
Yeah, never really was right. And where do you get away from here? The purple 5 is massive. You want to edge the 1. So I don't know if you can do much more than just use the blue. You got to be careful here trying to do too much. He's going to come all the way around, choose distance, and some perfect cover below the pink. What a great shot this was. Wow, he's cut him off from everything here. All by design.
Yeah, with the bridge in hand as well. He's not going to use that instrument too many times. Could be very, very tricky to hit this. He knows the green 6 is sort of tied up, so he's having a look to see if there's something he can do there.
Yeah, maybe one rail kicking the 9. Oh, he's kicking the 4 over to bunch him up even better. Pretty clever, but now the 8 and 9 might be throwable. Still a lot of work with the pink and the green the way they are. Okay, so I think the pink plays past the 6. And that makes everything a lot easier.
Just wants to float in the little gap. You see the 4 goes. Well, he could do this, but he needs to hold up. I think he's overrun his cue ball. Yeah, that's where he wanted it. Yap did not find the gap.
He's now in a trap. He's just wanting to chip the 4. He's going to probably have pretty big cover if he catches the 9 first. What was he doing? I can't quite tell there. Obviously looking to make the combination, but the 4 never would have escaped if that was the case. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how the 4 get... Yeah, he's trying to make the combination, but even if he hits it good, I don't think the 4 escapes. There's a good look at him. Okay, you saw that he used inside English there, and maybe wrong English, to be honest with you, because if you just use it a flat ball, it's going to carry further behind the 6. It kind of checked up off the bottom rail, and this is going to be painful because He can really wedge him up behind the 8 here. Go into the 9 a little bit. Yeah. So it's really all a result.
If he hits the pink 4, purple 5 could squeeze up the rail and go in. What a great shot. Yeah, look at that. What a beauty. It's a little thin one. Oh, he's handled that well as well.
Yeah, is he coming clear of the 9 or into it? I was wondering, and he looked like he was going to go into the 9 to me. Did he even need to do that? The carom might have been on. I thought he would have just come short of the 7 here. He didn't really have to go into them with an inside ball. I think he misses the 9. But he tried to split the 8 and 9 there, I believe.
Needs a bit of luck. I suppose he's left distance. Cue ball's near the rail. And if he pots it, I think the cue ball's going towards the 9-ish.
Yeah, last night here, he might have tucked him behind the 8. I mean, he played a series of defensive plays last night that surprised me. But here, I think he's going. And he sure did. A lot more confidence today.
Must be the carbon shaft. Switched from wood to carbon yesterday, did Yap? Very late in the day. This is where it might catch him out, where you're playing it with spin.
He's really seemed to dial it in. First couple of matches with it last night was way off. But he knew what he was doing all along, wanted to get comfortable with it. That way he could execute tonight.
Yeah, Neuhausen missed a trick there in rack 3. If Yap wins this match, he is our 4th semi-finalist. But Neuhausen's got to win. And if he does win, well, there's all sorts of permutations that can happen in the last match. Yeah, this match here is basically to see who finishes at the top of the tree. Before the semis, Chua is won 20 matches out of his 28. Gabito 19 out of 28.
Chua is on the board. Oh, and the 1 is extremely high there. Does the 7 go? It's not gonna. Pretty good safe here if he can chip the 1 down. Just go up. Wasn't a thick hit. Ball's kind of clattered a little bit. Carl, is it too thin to just chip the one down below the 6 and 2 and go up?
Yeah. No, I'm just joking. I think he's okay. Just having a bit of fun here on finals day. It's the last evening of the event, day 8. What a week we have had. We have seen a astronomical amount of matches.
Yeah, and so have these players. It's got to be an odd feeling, right? All of a sudden, you're playing a race to 5 for everything, right? And, you know, they've been playing all week where every game counts and matters, but now all of a sudden, it really matters. You're just playing a race to 5 for all of it.
Yeah, Moritz knows he's got to win the match. Otherwise, Yap's through. And himself, Jason Shaw are gone. This is a really good touch, this. Yeah, he's left the one rail escape, but not much else he could do.
Yeah, and what a great shot at this hit he just made. I mean, absolutely perfect with the outside ball to check off the right long rail and hold the cue ball. But percentages say if he makes a good hit here, he could get away with it. With every ball left on the table. Well, he didn't get away with it. I think he's left the one on, and he has left it on.
Got work to do here. The purple 5 doesn't go past the 8, and obviously the purple 5 onto the 8, there's distance, so that would be a very nasty combo. And he's got to get past this pot as well, by the way. Still got to knock this one in. Yeah, middle of the pocket. Probably play for the bank, will he? Trying to smash it off 2 rails and back over for a shot up in the long rail can go wrong. Makes the pot a bit tougher. He just pulls it back. Tries to land straight on the bank. He's got automatic position for the green ball. Big couple of shots coming up here in the context of this match. Oh my, he's missed it by an absolute country mile.
Yeah, look at the finish here. It could have been a lot worse for Newhausen. Where was he going? Trying to beat the left side pocket, I guess, or excuse me, the bottom side pocket here on our screen? Was that what he was doing?
I believe so, yeah. Kind of worrying how much he missed that by.
Maybe it's all just a little too much at the moment.
Yeah, Yap's got a bit of thinking to do here. He could kind of like play the old drag shot and just snip off the edge of it. Gotta trust the table fitter.
I think that's what he's going to do. Might use the 8 a little bit here.
This needs to spin. Oh, what a shot.
Well, it really grabbed there, and that's a good sign. Airborne. It's going to have to land on this probably. Close to it.
Yeah, not much of a landing strip here. You kind of feel he needs something big to happen. Gonna stick it up though.
So real thin on the 4 again. Obviously with the jump cue, a little different story, but no excuse to miss it down the rail like he did the first time. Yap left to pick up the pieces and most likely going to.
Kind of likes that sort of shot, doesn't it? Airing on the smoothness, just likes to trickle his cue ball around the table.
Not going to give many away, this guy at the table. Last night looked a little like the opposite to me, but for most of the event, really in line and playing solid and back to form as Yap.
Yeah, if Aloysius Yap wins, he's our fourth and final semi-finalist with Chua, Capito and Ruiz. There's another look at the league table. 29 matches will be played before we find our 4 semi-finalists. All in green are through. Just one name from the 3 in the blue section. And all the ones in red, well, they're on their way home or at home. 16 players came. In about an hour's time, there'll just be 4 left. Table 2 is basically a match for bragging rights, and also, if you can get the W going into a match later this evening where they might meet again. Bit of mental warfare.
Yeah. From there, you can't get any better. Yap. Strange approach to the break shot, in my opinion. He goes from the center to low, then low to the center of the cue ball, and then back to low. Not too many players do it, but I'm assuming he's just trying to really dial in the break spot. Didn't dial it in this time. He has broken dry. Yeah, a lot going on as far as games and tallies and rack differentials. Pretty straight here. You've got to avoid coming around to 9. Done that. Still work to do. A lot of distance now. Purple does not play in the lower left. Doesn't play in the left side either, so he's got to get good on the pink. It just doesn't look like it's playing right, but maybe he can draw past the purple. It looks like he can. Really can't afford distance here. He's got to get closer.
Okay, I mean, yeah, if he misses the 9, it's not worked out at the end of the world. I know he's got to put a good stroke on this ball now. He's got to get past the 9.
Yeah, I agree, Carl. I think that's the best he could actually do there. I believe the 5 plays to the top right, just in case he overdraws this, but it plays to the lower right and the right middle, so you're right. Just get past the 9.
Needs it to slow down. Okay, he's got a little knee jerker here. Yeah, you see what he's looking at there. Coming past the 8.
He's down to 7 seconds. Buzzer's gonna go off.
He's done well there. He knew the cue ball was flirting with the 8. He had to drop it in dead weight. He had about 3 seconds left. Oh, make sure you've got an angle, kid. Also with the purple 5, he knows if he makes a bit of a mess up, he's going to be 4-1 down. Well, should have knocked this mid-range 8. People will come over for the 9. Well done. Good shot.
Yeah, he almost felt like, or I almost felt like there's something that's going to go wrong there, but he handled it extremely clean.
Yeah, I was with you. I just kept thinking, there's a twist here, but I mean, there still might be, but you feel like he's done all the work. Stays very still on the shot. Doesn't go in the middle, but who cares? It goes in. 3-2. Again, if you've just joined us this evening, this is the Premier League pool. 8-day event. But would you just look at this one? The Florida Open. A brand new Open event added to the WNT 5th through to the 10th of August at the Caribe Royale. That's where the Moscone Cup was last year. Fantastic venue. And Florida, well, we have a lot of really good pool players coming out of Florida, so I expect that event to be actually a really tough Open event to win. Can't wait for that one. Okay, Neuhausen to break. He's trailing 3-2 in a must-win match. Yeah, I was just going to tell you before the Florida Open promo, if Neuhausen doesn't win, Yap's through. We know our semi-finalists.
Well, he's not out of it yet. The 2 does go down. The good news for Moritz is that he's close to the 3. Can play it to the lower left. Can also play it to the lower right, so maybe he can hold here. If he can't hold, he might have to zip back and forth. I don't see hitting this hard doing you any good. It's actually laying quite well, really, just to drift it in with an outside ball. Well, we got action. It's in his hands. Jason Shaw also sweating it, I believe, somewhere in the building because he knows that if Moritz blows this match, he's probably toast.
Yes, I'm afraid he is toast because Yap will be through to the semi-finals. You can tell Neuhausen knows the script as well, Scott. You said it earlier, don't you? You know, these guys have come out. We've seen all kinds of temperaments playing these race to fives. This is the 28th match for Neuhausen. 28, Scott, in 8 days.
Well, the good news is they'll be in stroke for a few weeks to come. Gonna end up a little thinner on the 7, maybe just to come 1-2 back, unless he wants to pull it back, but then you risk the danger of getting straight on it. Gonna take extension now, Carl.
Talking about in stroke, Double J is back on the table.
Yeah, 1 minute his hip's killing him, the next minute he's running racks. A big punch there, so he did stay thinner on the 7.
Yeah, JJ's hip looks fine to me. I'm sure Jeremy's lovely wife Amy is tuning in. I think he's play acting, Amy. Don't believe none of it.
Milking it. Well, Neuhausen is not milking it. He is ready for war. Taking a lot of time, though. Bearing down here, wants to just bury this ball. Even a back a foot is okay. Yeah, well, we do have action, Carl. Going to be knotted up at 3, barring any disasters.
Yeah, just look at the focus from Neuhausen there, looking down the line of the pot. And he does tie it up at 3-3. He's done well there, Scott. A couple of nice finishes to tie it up. Over on table 2, Capito. He's on the hill, 4-1 over Stewart. Is it Capito's day? Nice hit.
Yeah, really more like his week. I mean, he's followed it up with great play, though. You got to admit, when you're playing good, good things happen. Made a great hit there. Can't say much about it. He's going to the air here, Carl.
He's going to the air.
Obviously landing on the ball.
Well, didn't even get over the object ball. Usually you fly it over both balls, but to not make it over the first ball.
Yeah, a bit anticlimactic there.
Yeah, we tried. We tried to build it up for you guys watching back home. I'm sure Chua just wants to get this match over and done. Listen, he's done the hard work. He's made it through to the top 4, which means semi-final action. These guys won't care who they play in the semi-final. It's just all about getting there. Yap to break. This is the match. Because it's 3 apiece. If Yap wins, he's through. If Neuhausen wins, Jason Shaw can still make it through. That's what we're playing for here. The break again, Scott. You need a random ball. This is the problem when you're breaking at medium pace. You know, you look at Sanjin. How many times did Sanjin miss the one? Another ball find the pocket.
Yeah, really good point. I think that's the benefit to a little bit more power. You've got a backup plan, but when you're just trying to make the one, if you don't, they typically have a pretty good layout.
Yeah, this is a thin one.
And Robbie Capito continues to do what Robbie Capito does, 5-1 over Chua.
Okay, a little delicate with the cue ball. Yeah, that's okay. Ideally, it had just crept past the purple 5. Now the angle's a little steep. I don't know if he can kill it, or does he have to come twice across? Neuhausen really likes to look down the potting angle, doesn't he, Scott?
Well, I think that really the heat's on at this point. He wants to make sure what he's doing is absolutely correct.
Yep, you can't fault it. Good shot. Cue ball's okay as well. Capito got the job done. He beat Chua. And after 29 matches played, it's Capito who tops the league table. 20 points, Chua, 20 points. 34 rack difference for Capito, 22 for Chua. If Sanchez Ruiz wins his last match, I think he moves into second. I believe first will play fourth.
You just don't want to fall straight on the brown. I don't think that's possible with the steep angle here. Seems to be, yeah, he's a little steeper than maybe you wanted to be, but pretty close to perfect. Buzzer in the background. Yeah, I think that's absolutely ideal. I don't see anything going wrong here, Carl. Trailing 3-1 not long ago, looking to take a 4-3 lead, and that's exactly what Jason Shaw is looking for.
Does he just pull it back, take the 8 in the bottom right? Or does he come over to the side rail? He pinches it and stays there.
Yeah.
What do you think to that, Scott?
I think he caught it a little heavier than he meant to there. He's using every inch of the clock as well. Sooner or later, that might jump up and get you. Wide.
Oh, yeah, it didn't go in the center. Cue ball's held up okay, but you can see he's feeling it. That doesn't mean he can't handle it. That just means he cares about the situation.
Yeah, you can feel that he's feeling it, actually, let alone see it.
Neuhausen, Moritz Neuhausen from Germany, was 3-1 down in a must-win match. If he loses, he's out. Also, Jason Shaw is out. He's 4-3 up. I believe he's got the break. Well, I'm just guessing there, actually. I'm saying he's got the break. Actually, don't know. Yeah, I think that's his break cue. Maybe not.
Yeah, I believe Yap was dry last rack. That's what we were touching on, right? When you break the balls a little easier. Speaking of Jason Shaw, he's just walked over to the booth. We are not going to interview him yet. We'll see what happens in this match. We might need to get back to the practice table here soon.
Yeah, put a lot of hours in this week, Jason.
During the break, Carl and I walked back over here to the building. He was the only one in the room practicing his break. And that is a true story.
Dry break. What's he going to leave? Oh, he's going to leave a shot on the one and an angle.
Yeah, it's 2 dry breaks in a row. One by Yap and now this by Moritz. Just so happens, I believe he's got the correct side of the cue ball here, which is the outside of it. Just doesn't want to hit the 8 full. I'm sure he's going to go away from it. Do you come above the 8, Carl, or do you come between the 2 and 8?
Personal preference for me is 2 and 8.
Yeah, because then you make sure you get there, right?
Yeah, it's just, I prefer to hit the cue ball that way.
I actually have to agree with you there, but it looks to me like he's just going to come up past the 8. Can't fault him. It's personal preference. Filipinos would typically drag this ball, though. Okay, he did. Just a different kind of aim point there.
Yeah, he fooled us, didn't he, with where he was aiming on the cue ball.
Maybe it was the wrong decision all along because he hates it. Very awkward angle. Might be forced to go forward here.
At what point drawing the cue ball back to play the red 3 in the other corner is an option? No?
Well, you know you're going to get some type of look at the 3 that way, and I think it's a smartest play probably. You want to stay aggressive, you go forward. But I think your play is the smartest play because if you land good, then you've always got it to the lower left. If you don't, you've always got the defensive route, right?
Yeah, and it's not a case of cheating these pockets by lows where you can just whip it round. Yeah, that's what he's played. So can't fault him. Needs to go.
Yeah, you always kind of felt that's where it was going to end up for some reason. At least I did. I don't think you could have got into it too much there, really. So he just had to come back another foot.
I definitely think Yap's at this point where, I mean, it's crazy to think this because he could be about to get to the semi-finals, but he's trialing things out, isn't he? He's played with wood. About 4 days ago, it was like a car garage in the practice area. There were bolts, nuts, and all sorts everywhere. He was there unscrewing the weight out of his cue. Now he's got carbon. I mean, he's having a good old play around with his equipment and all that.
Surprised this ball fell, to be real. I mean, it caught pretty high up.
Yeah, that is actually bizarre how that's gone in. We've seen worse efforts. I mean, better efforts stay up. Got to cue this one nicely though. Wow.
Did he get away with it? Didn't get away with it. You know what I mean, as he snookered. Hard hit right there because he had to pinch back and he had a little bit of a funny line, it seemed like. Yeah. Caught it to the low side of the pocket, though, so had plenty of room to hit it correctly. All depends on how much of the 4 he can hit here. He cannot make it. Come around behind the purple. Does he just use the 6? Could bank it to the top left. I feel like it's real thin to do this. And real aggressive. I don't see him doing that with his tournament future on the line, possibly.
Well, I'll tell you what, as he just played the worst shot of the week.
Yeah, as far as a defensive play with the inside, you knew he was addressing with an inside ball. That's why I thought he was going to try to go behind the purple, but if you're going to do that, you've got to let it go a little bit. Could have played it safe with an outside ball and just used the 6.
Yeah, Yap struggled with his cue ball today. Kind of let out of the stroke there a bit. He wanted to be over a bit more. Now he's got to come twice across.
Yeah, one thing he has done well, though, is make the ball. Typically his cue ball, one of the best on tours we've discussed all week. Now, do you go out of your way to play the 8 up in the top right? It's going to be more cue ball movement, or do you just go forward, play it in the middle? Yeah, I think it's very smart there. Less cue ball movement, less risk. You folks at home, that's really the key, right? When you can minimize that cue ball, your percentages are going to go up. These great players make it look simple because they're always in line. Less cue ball movement, less English, all the good stuff.
Well, we have a little bit of drama here on the evening session for you guys all watching at home. Because it's as simple as this. If Yap wins this last rack, he's through to the semi-finals. If Neuhausen wins the rack, we've still got things to play for.
Yep, and I'm going to be honest with you. Jason Shaw was just sitting over here by us, and now that it's Hill, well, he's gotten up. I don't think he's going to be able to sit down for at least this rack.
Now, the break for Aloysius has not been great in this match. It's looked a little weak. He's trying to squeeze the one ball into the side pocket, and if it doesn't go, or the balls don't seem to fall a large percentage of the time. I wonder if he'll change the break for the last rack here.
You mean probably talking about hitting him a little firmer there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just put a bit more on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't argue with that at all, right? The problem is if you powder puff them and you don't make something, you're going to leave most likely a real good look. There is the good luck between the two. Very familiar with one another.
Here we go. Aloysius Yap on 16 points, sits in 4th place. Just behind him, Jason Shaw on 15. And the man in green sat watching on. He's also on 15. He's got more power.
Yeah, really has gone more power, Carl. Good call there.
8 ball, is he going to stop the pot? I think he did, you know. I think the 8 ball just come round and stopped it.
Well, Murphy's Law would say it did because Hill, it's rare that somebody has a break and run or a clean look. This quickly down, it would tell me that he doesn't have a pocket. Now he's got a big pocket, doesn't he?
He goes, you know. Wow. Here we go.
Yeah, he's just evaluating.
Listen, we're not saying this is easy, but if that goes into a decent proportion of the hole, he's got to go for it.
Yeah, I think this angle's just a slight bit misleading. I think he's got a whole pocket.
Well, we'll all get a bit of a good idea if it's there. If it's there, it looked like it was long railish. It really did. He was staying there on the shot. He knew as well.
Yeah, he headed to the long rail all along. It did have a full pocket. If you could see the distance between the 8 and the 3 as the 3 passed, look at the room that that ball had. So maybe just a factor of Yap making it a little more difficult than it is, not to mention 4 games apiece.
Did he catch rail first then, Scott?
He sure did. Cue ball never supposed to be this far from the pink.
Doesn't need to go crazy with a cue ball there, just leave it up in that corner. He has done this a few times during this match, so I don't expect him to try and power the ball all of a sudden.
Yeah, I agree. Don't panic on the purple 5, right? Just take your medicine, float the 5 in once you get this down. I think the biggest issue here is just getting this down. Don't allow that rail first hit to bother you.
Basically, if Neuhausen could knock these balls in, he goes level with Yap on 16 points. Shaw would drop down into 6th. Good shot.
Wow, he really got into that ball.
Wow, I mean.
So he was a little concerned about the distance on the purple. That's all that tells me.
Yeah, that was a nice break from Johan Chua earlier on.
Yeah, so the hit on the pink there definitely tells me he was concerned about the distance and having to kill the cue ball on the 5. Gonna go to the top left with the 7. It's gonna probably come down to rack differential, I think, here, Carl.
Well, results still need to happen, because obviously Shaw and Neuhausen and Yap have still got 1 game left. And the funny thing is, Jason Shaw on table 1 next against Neuhausen.
So in one aspect, Neuhausen helps him, and another could really hurt him.
Well, both guys are going to need help off Ruiz. Obviously, if Ruiz beats Yap, I believe it'll be the winner of Shaw Neuhausen who makes it through.
Yeah, so there's a series of events that still need to take place in order for Jason Shaw to get through. That needs to bounce.
Wow, okay, talk about putting yourself under a little bit of heat. Scott, we've played millions of racks. We know how these easy 9 balls, when you're straight and you're right behind them, they feel like gimmies. I'm telling you now, 9 balls a funny game. The emotion that you go through playing this sport is uncanny. It's unlike anything else. You'll be feeling it on this 9.
Yeah, 100%. You saw him shake the hand there, getting the nerves out. The clock is ticking.
And he nails it with 2 seconds to spare. Neuhausen from 3-1 down against Aloysius Yap wins the point. We have got some action.
And Jason Shaw literally fell over on the floor over here. So he's still got life.
We'll be back in 5 minutes. Stay tuned. More action here at this year's PLP. extension.
Hello anh em ơi. Có anh em nào Việt Nam đang xem không? Giáp để thua chán quá nhỉ. Hai 10 thôi. Ok, 2-3 cho sau.
Yeah, you just get the feeling most of these matches from here on out are going to be a lot
Cho thắng đi.
closer.
Cho
Some of the
thắng,
others.
Giáp thắng đi. Cho
Yeah,
thắng,
Yap thin
cho
to the
lên.
right side here.
So vẫn đấy. Giáp thắng, Giáp lên.
Real thin.
New house in the break here. 3-2 lead at a golden break in the last.
Chắc nào Giáp ơi.
Actually made 3 balls, I believe, in his last break. So you got to pay attention there. That caught the left knuckle a little bit.
Phá lỗi đi nào, Leo Sen.
Yeah, the cue ball tracked real low there. No contact with the 9
Còn hai chưa ăn được này.
whatsoever. Blue 2 finishing
Cơ hội
high
cho
up
so vào
top.
bàn
Is
đây.
there value to going at the cut? It's too steep in my opinion, but if it was Johan Chua at the table, you might take it on.
Yeah, you should be pretty comfortable playing on the right side of this 2 ball. This is real natural. 2 should kind of cut one rail towards, what is it, the 4 and 6, I think. Then you try and come a few rails behind the purple. Okay, he's doing something else. Maybe going into the 2 rails
Lỗi rồi.
there. Doesn't want to
Rồi.
look.
Thủ lỗi rồi. Bị hở rồi.
That was really a hard shot not to shoot. I like that choice.
Can you get to the right side of the 2, or is just going to the left here? Yeah, it's okay. Got big cover there with the 9 and 7.
À vâng à. Quyết định à chết luôn đấy.
Immediately looking at the long railer, Jeremy.
No, I like that for sure. You want this, you want to kick towards congestion here.
I felt like you might be able to jump with the low
Hai trận
ball.
quyết định xem ai sẽ là người thứ
Second
tư
out
này.
of the 2, but
I think the 9's a long ways away, maybe.
Leo
There,
Sen
with the ball near the
hay
rail
Giáp.
there. I think that's what he was thinking anyways. And this kick works out a lot, with that medium kind of aggressive speed.
So cố lên soi. Giáp cố lên Giáp ơi.
yeah, and Yap wins game number 3, 2-1.
Really nice spray and save for me.
Shaw's
you.
trying to bury this to the top left or play the cross side. It's going to be one of the 2, I believe.
Well, for me, it's got to be the cross side, I think.
Lỡ mất rồi. À dính vào con 3. Không
Yeah,
dính,
for
không
him,
dính,
it's
không
the
dính.
corner, never had a chance.
Khó cho
And
Giáp rồi.
cheese here, so he's been hitting most shots with authority. This one here, you don't want to blast it, but I do like being more aggressive with the stroke. I feel like you can stay steady. I think as a player, we tend to want to steer this kind of shot a little bit, even when we're hitting down on it. I think just go ahead and, you know, get through the ball a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, I tell you
Hy
what,
vọng
what
lỗi
a
con này
tough
nè.
shot this is, because the 7 really does make it that much more difficult. Looks solid over the ball, though. Yeah, you
Không
called
lỗi.
it, Jay. Nice aggressive poke right there.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that's where he was going with it anyways. He's kind of telling himself that, you know, whether it be a little talk about a few shots in the last match that got away, and telling himself, I'm going to go down swinging.
Yeah, and the 6 carries you to the 7 if you want to stay to the right side of the table. Either way, you can stay thin to the 6, but not where the 5 is now. So he's going to beat the right side pocket and just get past it. I think you involve the 8 a little more that way, but he's too steep on the 5 to hold towards the center for the 2 rail line towards the 7.
Yeah, he would have liked to get a little further down the table. Surprised he didn't really, but players today, I think, stunned the ball overall really well.
Yeah, just easy, really. Really easy here to either hold up too much. Oh, he's gotten into it perfectly.
All right. Probably could draw it, but most likely goes forward 2 rails out above.
So far, when those beeps have been in the background, he's handled it all like a professional, not bothering him one bit.
Well, I mean, you play this format, right? This is day 8. And of course, essentially, it's in your hands, technically. I mean, there are pool gods involved, but this is the real first feeling of he's gotten that it's in his hands to advance to where any of these players wanted to be, which is that Final 4. 4-2 for Moritz Newhausen. He'll get at least one more break to win the match. Jason Shaw to break in game number 7. It's a little slower on table 2. 2-1 for Aloysius Yap.
And I believe he's allowed Yap to make this ball on the right side. Is this last break shot? This year's PLP for Jason Shaw. Strange grouping the way these balls have finished, as hard as he hit them.
Yeah, it seems they got a lot of kisses right there below the rack. Yeah, they got kisses by the corner, which slowed them down, and then they come across the center.
The ticky right there, the cue ball got the rail. Great shot, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, he's going to have to show us one here, just as Jason just showed us one with the safety. Jason's got that mind. He's got a very keen mind for this game. Oof. And broke it up. terrible.
Tell you what, that was a fraction from being great. It just feathers the two. Shaw's most likely got nothing on it. I think the 3 passes, Jay, it's tight.
I'll tell you what he could do. He could, ball in hand, he could lay up for the side right here and possibly open up the 5-7 with a follow or a little stun and still have the pink 4.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Did he fall steep enough?
Oh, yeah. Now just make sure you shake loose. That way you don't get awkward bridging, because I'm not sure you can go forward. I think it's more of a draw or stun. Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know that he was really steep enough there.
Time to go home.
He says time to go home. Not yet, Mr. Shaw. Figure it out. Tried to catch the 5 first there, obviously, and just didn't quite get into it the way he wanted. This is real tough, I guess.
Yeah, it's just too low rail. The low left corner, you got to wrap out of there going 2 rails up. I mean, could draw it, I guess, past the side, get the top cushion off that left long rail.
Yeah, he's going to give it everything he can, though. He's, for a second, thought he might whack at it. Going to use the clock and do what's right. Needs to make contact here. Not going to get it done.
Yeah, Aloysius Shap did get out 3-1, but his fate is in Moritz Neuhausen's hands now. And good thing for Moritz is his own fate's in his hands, so you can't ask for much more. And with ball in hand. I like getting the natural maybe to run here off the 5.
You had to run 2 rails, but are you dealing with the 8 or the 9? Just go above them.
Yeah, just let it lengthen out. That's all. You can get straight if you want a little distance. The 7 goes easy in the other corner.
I don't think he's got much of a choice but to take distance on the 6 here, Jay.
Should get it. Maybe that 45-degree angle. He decided to go ahead and go with it. I can't blame him one bit. 8 goes in the side, so if he falls a little straight on the 7, all kinds of options. Talking to a friend of Morris's earlier on the break, and I told him that it may come down to him and Shaw, and he said he didn't know if Moritz has ever beat Shaw before. He's always struggled with him.
Well, he certainly seemed from the very beginning of this match like he was up for it. I do think his last match, Moritz's last match, has played a little bit of a role in that. He was pretty nervy in the last match, ideally and understandably, but this match has been really solid.
Yeah, go ahead and come above if in any doubt. Okay, you could stay there easily. Close quarters here as well. This one, for me, when the nerves are high, the sides can get a little funny, look even smaller.
Yeah, I think he was just a little concerned about moving the cue ball any more than he did there. Here's a great look at it. He's going to get it in.
Yeah, it may be. I thought the towel might get thrown in there, but a deserving win here and a great match for Moritz Neuhausen, when the pressure ultimately was on to advance. And hats off to Jason Shaw. He gave us a ton of entertainment, a lot of emotion.
Yeah. Big win there for Neuhausen.
Yeah, we're going to check out table 2, even though I kind of feel like Yap knew where he stood going into this match. Maybe not, though, because, again, prior to the break, I think there were different scenarios that could have played out. So maybe he just recognized that going into the first matches of the evening rather than what it's kind of updated since. And I'll go back over this one more time, but I believe the information I was given by the geniuses they are in the background.
Yeah.
Moritz, he wins the match. He's in. If Moritz had lost, he was out. It was either going to be Shaw or Yapin. But all that's immaterial now. Oh, he's missed this ball.
And so there you have it. Our final four is Capito, Chua, Ruiz, and Newhausen.
Yeah, we're going to stick with this match here until the conclusion. We'll have a little 5-minute break until the two semifinals to get started, and then, of course, our final shortly after. Now, not sure if this match is worth some dollars or not. I feel like that Yap was ahead of Shaw, so Shaw losing, I think Yap will finish 5th, get the 5th place check, and Shaw will come in 6th.
Yeah, real thin edge to this ball if he's going off of it. Now you can't do much better than that right there. Such a clever play. You've got the 6 as a big ball there, but also just chance of backdooring the 9 as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he can beat the kiss here, if he's trying to edge this and maybe bank across corner.
Is he kicking?
He's going to
into
kiss it
first?
Yeah, he's got to know with outside English, you're going to kiss that ball.
Absolutely. Thought he might just kick behind it and use the 6.
I think he had to jump to the top rail.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense, Jay. Maybe a little air let out of the tires after the match next to them and completed.
Yeah, of course, Fran, the ultimate professional, not wanting to lose focus, but a little relief, you know. He's in that final 4, trying to get a second time to get them hands on this PLP trophy.
The silverware, as Carl Boys says.
They all say it different, right? We say hardware in America for the most part. And any player that didn't make it to this final 6, like a guy like Yap, of course, played great. They've all played great. All 16. They're not going to look back and say one match, and not in this format, or one ball. It's going to just be, nothing to really hang your head about. It's just tough pull.
Yeah, and touching on that, really credit to every one of these guys. But once you get towards the end and lose by a game or two, or a rack or two, or one set, it can be a little disheartening. They've put in so much work this week. Really incredible what all of them have done, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you can see Aloysius knows it. Taking a little out on that 9 ball right there.
Yeah, and he's been one we've talked about the whole time, like really performed well throughout most part of it. I think he stumbled Yeah, maybe like day 5 and 6, just a little bit. And that's kind of when he went to the carbon, stumbled that evening. And then since then, he's really played solid again. It's just not meant to be for Yap.
Yeah, and Chu and Capito obviously have played really well from start to finish. Probably don't expect anything else moving forward, but the guy that's trending is FSR, really, and quietly doing so. I didn't realize, I didn't realize he could easily get into third like he has, but things have fallen exactly how they need to be, plus some stellar play.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that kind of not only a tactical player on the table, but I think some of what he's done this week's been a little different than a lot of the other guys. I think he's quietly gone along for a reason. Look for him to do some great things here the rest of the evening. Might have got into those a little heavy, Jeremy.
Definitely too thick.
And that's probably a sign of a little bit of frustration, letting the nerves out there. Get some good rest tonight. Maybe for the next week or so. Find a tournament he can go thump on somebody after this much pool. Yeah, a little body English. Got that one down.
I was a little surprised he stunned that instead of rolling across. It's easy to fall a little funny stunning there on the 7. Nice shot there, 7 to the 8. All right, FSR 4-2 he trails. Again, if you're wondering about what is next, we will have the semifinal, or both semifinals rather, about 5 minutes after this match is concluded. Then another 5-minute break into the final after the 2 semifinals have finished also. It's going to be FSR, Moritz Neuhausen, and the 2 on top that have been on top, Johan Chua and Robbie Capito. Would you spin this with inside or try to come one rail across between the 5-6 for a little cut on the 3? 4-9's a possibility. He likes the inside though.
Yeah, caught it just a tick thin, and that's how he's ended up here. Want to get into the ball just a little bit more. Oh, is this even makeable? I don't believe so. Be a fun shot to watch him try and float forward, but the hit, very easy to double hit. Tuck him up under the 9, that would, well, that'd make me happy, but I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah, touchy shot here if he's trying to spread up table. Almost needs like a, yeah, I was going to say he may not do much here because otherwise he could give up his easy shot and return. Now, Yap, if he can play right, he should chip off his right side and run 2 rails up the table.
You know, very hard to get to the left side of the ball. I don't know if he can reach it. I do like it, though. He's got a lot of cover with the 7 and 6 and 5. Going to use the bridge. And the extension. He just said he wanted to bank it up table. He's going to leave a shot.
Kind of like the effort, though. He was going into the 9 trying to get the snooker that way, I think.
Yeah, I like that effort as well.
How's the queuing? Okay, it came clean.
Some of the faster pool FSR typically plays. I don't know what he's looking at there. Maybe there was something on the 7. He's giving it a look 2 or 3 times. I know it's not about the position he's in. Game number 7 goes to Ruiz.
Yeah, Fran looking good. See Mr. Chua still on the practice table. Here we have it. In my opinion, the biggest title in the world. My personal favorite, the U.S. Open, August 18th through the 23rd. There in Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. It's been a great host for a few years now, and it's really one of the events you really want to attend if you're a 9-ball fan. It's going to be a really good swing there on the East Coast. Florida opens just 8 or 10 days before that. Got some ranking events also at that time of the year there on the East Coast. So, you know, pack your bag and make a little road trip for a few weeks. You'll get to see some special pool.
Yeah, Corey Wolford, Trina Wolford, Wolf's Den. Out there, the Battle of the Bull. Big ranking event in the States. Definitely has nothing to hang his head about over the last 8 days is the man at the table. Wow. Well, typically we don't see the two chase the 3 rails like that, but it did this time. You hear a big breath come from Yap. Well, I can feel his pain there in a way. We have covered about as much pool as you can possibly cover over the last 8 days, and kind of stressed and sweated every shot with him. You just go to the back of the purple here and try and play it. Looks like he's going to edge the left side of it.
you could try to just kick softly and bump it. 4-5's covering the right rail. Probably not going to like the next situation you're in, but you live to swing another day, right? Go at another one. Is he going to tie the 4-5 up?
Yeah, a little interesting. You don't see it too often, especially given a man ball in hand on the 3, but maybe that's why he's doing it, is where the 3 lies. Wants to goat yap into drawing the 3 back and sticking to the purple.
Well, he'd have to goat me too, because that's what I'd be doing, is drawing back and trying to open these balls. Pretty hard press. You'd have to hit it really in the face unless you baby the draw stroke.
Yeah, JJ, I agree. A little surprised at the play there from Ruiz, but neither here nor there.
Yeah, with Yap being a lefty, getting in position with ball in hand was fairly routine. I should get these. Shouldn't take much cue ball movement. A little shab is marked there. You stunned 2 rails out above, between the 8 and 9, the bottom cushion maybe.
Yeah, I don't mind that, right? Unless he's worried he's going to catch a piece of the 8 doing that. I don't think so if he stays smooth here. No problem. Needs to carry, but ends up good.
Yeah, I don't know if the 8 passes the 9. If it does, he's fine. But if the 8 doesn't pass the 9, could get a little tricky here.
Yeah, felt like it did.
Well, he made me feel that way as well. He didn't look too discouraged when he took that glance. So you can see FSR. He'll be back in one of those chairs for the semifinal, but unfortunately for Mr. Yap and Jason Shaw, they won't. Hats off to both of them, though. Sure a pleasure over these 8 days. I think getting to watch these guys knock these balls in makes it not so grueling for us. But yeah. Again, here are scores from today. And this is the evening session. We had a lot of hill matches in the afternoon, and some things told some early stories, but it was Morris Newhausen that got it done late. And here's our table standings for our final 4. And just look at those racks. Differential is really a mix-up of between all the players, but again, it came down to just one final match there. Moritz got it done, shut the door on Jason Shaw and Aloysius Yap. Hats off to all 16, though. It was a pleasure to watch. And again, stay tuned. 2 semifinals and then a final shortly after. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
We are guaranteed 4 phenomenal days of action right here in Florida. Drama is certainly